Who wants a shot? Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. Before we start today's video, I gotta show you these pictures of this awesome, epic bottle of vodka that I saw the other day. Now, I'm not a big drinker. However, when I saw this, I had to have it. I got it. Probably not even gonna open it ever, but as you can see, this has to be the coolest bottle of liquor I have ever seen. It is called Outer Space Vodka, and it comes in this beautiful green glass alien head, and it's beautifully made. I mean, this thing is heavy too when you hold it. I mean, it's just awesome. And yeah, apparently it just came out, and you can find it like at your local liquor store, places like that. Costs about $30 for the larger bottle like you're seeing here that I purchased. So yeah, pretty awesome. Had to show you guys this. Just another cool collector's piece. You know, I was thinking, and when I showed a lot of you guys on Twitter earlier, I posted this picture. A lot of you said you should drink it and do a video. And I thought about it. I gotta be honest. I thought about it for a split second. However, me being not much of a big drinker, I probably would have gotten myself in trouble, probably would have started talking about Uranus again, and yeah, things would not have ended well. So for now, it's just going to sit in the cabinet as a kind of a cool collector's piece that relates to the work we're doing here. So pretty awesome. Now on to some news. We have a few UFO sighting clips we want to show you, but there's some other things that we want to talk about. Things that are happening in space as well as down on the planet. So first I want to show you this clip. Someone emailed me this, and this is a recording of a golf outing on TV. It was apparently on Sky Sports channel, and the viewer who was watching it on his TV noticed a very strange object, sort of pass overhead, cigar-shaped object, and well, you go ahead and check this out.
Watch, just over your man's head. With the shades. Watch. Look at that. Out of nowhere.
Alright, so as you just saw, we see this strange sort of luminescent white cigar or cylinder-shaped object passing overhead of these golfers. And what was strange about this is as you watch it, you can actually see that whatever this object is, it goes over top of this person's face. And it makes you wonder, was this some sort of invisible entity? Kind of similar to things like rods, which are sort of like these invisible objects that no one can really see with their naked eye, but they have been captured on camera. And luckily, the Golf Channel was playing a slow motion version. So this slow-mo version here is actually from the channel itself. So it's not a reflection coming from the person recording it. This is on the channel, and yeah, it's just really, really weird. Now on to some other sightings. These images that you're seeing here of this strange blue light spotted up in the clouds during a thunderstorm in Bucharest, the capital of Romania. And he actually caught some video of it too, but he was driving in his car and he didn't really get a clear shot of it. No better than the images you're seeing here. So we're just showing you the images. Yeah, this reminds me of the red light, the bright red glowing light that was seen over Turkey that we featured in our last couple of videos, where the mayor of the capital city of Turkey was opening an official investigation into what these lights are, and apparently they're appearing everywhere. The source also said that he witnessed another one of these lights over Moichu, Romania. And there's multiple images here, again, captured during a thunderstorm also. So we've talked about the presence of these strange objects and these sightings that are happening during these lightning and thunderstorms. And we've been seeing a lot of these strange glowing lights that would appear above the clouds, as if there's an object up there that has lights on the bottom of it, but we are only seeing them reflected onto the cloud cover here. So anybody in Romania see these things, have more footage of them or pictures, please send them over. I'd really appreciate it. Now for some really intriguing footage of an object that was caught leaving a contrail, or chemtrail, depending on who you ask, of a plane that had recently passed by. So check this out.
I don't know, it's just, it doesn't look like a balloon because it's not moving fast. And it's, with the picture I couldn't get it, but with the video I was able to get it a little closer. I'm just trying to hold it real steady.
That's moving.
Yeah, it's moving, but I mean,
You can't zoom in.
that's all I can zoom in. But I don't know if it's a balloon. I don't know.
Guys, see it? It's that white thing, right?
Yeah, the white thing, puppy.
It looks like an alien.
I think so, puppy. I think so.
All right, so this was sent in by Julio Rodriguez, who captured this. This was taken on the south side of Chicago last month. They were spending time with family, and himself, his mom, his wife, and his 2 kids were loading some things into the car, and all of them literally saw this object, called for one another to come out, look up into the sky, and they captured this object coming out of this drifting plane contrail here. Definitely not the first time we've seen these objects hovering around contrails. And you can see when the object first comes out of the cloud, it actually changes directions. It's coming down and then starts veering in an opposite direction. You can hear the children who are also watching this thing. And although it's extremely far away, I mean, this is the best view you're going to get with a cell phone. It's a great shot. He holds the camera steady, and you can clearly see whatever this thing is. At the distance, it looks large. It definitely looks large, much larger than a balloon at this distance. And it comes out, makes a turn, and then heads slowly across the sky, and at some points looks to stop completely. So I think overall this is a great piece of footage. We've seen these things exiting contrails before. It's very strange. You will sometimes see a plane go by, leaving this large trail of clouds, and we've seen these things seemingly come out of them. These small white orbs, or well, they look small to us here on the ground. Very eerie and really bizarre footage. So big thanks to Mr. Rodriguez for sending this over again over the south side of Chicago. Now, lastly, on the UFO sightings front, I want to show you some new moon images. Now, these were captured during the Apollo moon missions when they were orbiting the moon, both the front and the back side of the moon, the side with which we never see. And we want to show you another one of the most debated and controversial moon images showing a UFO up close, and you're seeing that image here. And this is from the Apollo 10 moon mission. I will put the link to this frame down in the video description. Both links I'll put down there so you can check these out. This image has been around for a while. It's been featured in various documentaries as well as books going back to the 80s. We have what has been described as a very large object caught flying past the orbiter's window while they were over top the moon. The object in question, if you don't see it yet, is right here. And although it's a little bit out of focus, which makes me think that this thing is much closer to the camera or was moving so fast that we sort of get this motion blurring effect. One thing I do know, and one thing that leads many people to believe that this object is massive, as I like to say, but there really is no better word, is due to the fact that this thing is casting a shadow, a very large shadow, down on the moon's surface. And as you're looking at this thing, and we'll show you a more contrast-enhanced version, you can see the shadow of this thing on the moon's surface. And you can see it here in the image. It's the dark black portion on each end of the UFO, where you can actually see the craters on the moon in this dark shadow here. So this doesn't seem to be part of the craft. This is a opaque shadow being cast down on the lunar surface, which would mean that this thing is huge. And whatever it is, it was moving by, captured as they were snapping images, and again, one of the most debated lunar anomalies that we've seen. Now, another image that was recently brought to my attention, which we've never featured on the channel, and as far as I know, has never been discussed ever, from the backside of the moon, may have caught this very same object. And the image that I'm talking about is this one that you're seeing here. This is also from Apollo 10. And this is only 2 frames earlier than the frame that we just showed you. So this frame here was snapped very close to the time that the previous image we showed you was taken. If you take your attention down to the lower right part of the photograph, and you will have to zoom in here, you will see what very well could be the same object that was just seen up close in the previous image, now down and very close to the surface in this area right here. Let's go ahead and zoom in, give you a better view. You can download this. It's an extremely large image. This is the high resolution version. You can zoom in on this thing, and here we have a white craft of some sort much closer to the moon's surface, casting a shadow down below. Let's go ahead and zoom in even further, bring up the contrast once again so we can give you a little bit more definition. The shadow underneath it comes out, the object comes out, the sun is shining down from the upper right, so the shadow is exactly where it should be, and again, we have this object either hovering or flying much closer to the moon. Could this be the object in the previous frame? And you can see, looking at this thing looks like a craft. It almost looks like the space shuttle here on Earth. But we know for a fact that this is not the space shuttle, as the space shuttle was not around at the time of this mission. And so whether this is the same craft from the first image really isn't of top importance. What is important here is that this is a craft that we found that has yet to have been shown by any other ufologist I've ever known. This is a new finding brought to you from Secure Team. We have an object here. We have the shadow of the object being cast down on the moon, which means, yes, this is a legitimate finding of an artificial object flying above the moon. So more evidence piling up. So now, before we finish the video, a few stories that we want to talk about. The first of which, and I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but recent news reports have been hitting the web about these thousands of strange blue lakes that are appearing all over Antarctica, which, if you don't know, is very, very bad news. According to a new Science Alert article, and I'll put the link to this down below, scientists have confirmed that thousands of, quote, pristine blue lakes have appeared on the ice sheets of East Antarctica, and it's got them very worried, because this means that the ice sheet is disintegrating. And if you don't know yet, when our polar ice caps start to melt, that means big trouble for us. That means we will have an enormous amount of extra seawater with nowhere to go. Hence, California's gone, New York's gone, all of the eastern and western, basically all of your coastal areas are gone, are now underwater. So this is very disturbing news. Between 2000 and 2013, nearly 8,000 of these lakes have appeared. And what is so strange and disconcerting about this is the fact that scientists and researchers had assumed that East Antarctica was pretty much impervious to rising climate and ocean temperatures. So, you guys can check the article yourselves. Let me know what you guys think. It's too early to tell now, so we'll definitely, obviously, be watching this story very, very closely. So another thing I wanted to talk about is, if you remember in our last video, we were speaking on the fact that NASA is going to be handing over the International Space Station to a private company, a commercial company, in the near future. Funding is now being cut off for the ISS, the government funding. Huge mistake. However, one viewer did bring up the important point that once the ISS is out of government control, it will no longer be regulated. It will no longer be censored. So maybe it could be a good thing, depending on what it's used for and who it goes to. I'm sure the government will still have its paws on there somehow, trying to filter out the information that would come from it. However, in other news, a recent story has come to light about how Obama has now stripped down the funding of a new NASA probe that we were going to send to Jupiter's moon in order to pay for more global warming research. So the Obama administration announced plans to scale down NASA's proposed mission to Jupiter's moon, Europa, which is a really exciting thing. We've talked about Europa before. Europa is one of the most likely planets in our solar system to harbor alien life in its oceans that are found under its icy outer shell. So, originally, this probe was granted and approved to receive $175 million from Congress in 2016. However, our president, in all of his wisdom, is now requesting that the mission to Europa be cut down to a measly $49 million, as opposed to $175. Now, this probe, which is called the Europa Clipper, would investigate the icy moon's potential habitability for human colonization and alien life. And it would actually give them an opportunity to drill down into its icy shell and possibly put a probe down into the water so we could take a peek what's down there. So again, it's just one more potentially groundbreaking mission that is on the chopping block, ready to be defunded by our president. It hasn't happened yet, but it's in the works, and that's what he wants to do. So, I mean, it's just, like I said before, the priority right now is not on space. It's not on trying to, at least for the government. It is for NASA and other places. I mean, obviously there's a good side and a bad side to these space agencies, but overall, most people who work for them, who are not on the inside, they just want to find what we want to find, and that is the truth about the alien life that's out there. And you know, some say that the government is trying to defund these missions because they know that there is life out there and that they don't want us to find them officially. So, you know, there could be many reasons why they're attempting to defund these missions. So we will stay on it. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Let me know what you guys think. Some strange sightings happening, new structures captured flying over the moon, objects coming out of clouds over Chicago. Give me your take. And yeah, I think I'm going to go take a sip of this outer space vodka. Oh, which, by the way, it says on the label here that this vodka has been, quote, distilled and filtered through 4 billion-year-old meteorites. Yeah, I gotta try this stuff. We'll see you back soon. Hit the like and subscribe button on your way out, and bottoms up.